It's on YouTube. There's this platform called NPR, and during COVID, they started doing these tiny desk concerts where they bring in rock stars into I think they're in New Jersey or something like that, into this small office, and they record them sitting at this small desk and their band performing. And there's got some really first-rate performers that show up there. And I was watching Bono and The Edge in there, and they were there. They had this amazing African-American choir supporting them. And one of the songs they cracked into was Beautiful Day. All right, we know that song. I'm not going to sing it. You know it. Like, it doesn't take much to recall that song. And they bust into it, and it's like, how old is this song? Like, they were killing it, and it was beautifully accompanied by the choir. And I was like, the words for this song haven't changed. The melody of this song hasn't changed. They must have sung this song, I don't know, thousands, tens of thousands of times. I looked it up, and it came from the year 2000 from memory, right? So 24 years old, and they banged this song out, same words, same melody, obviously refined to hit the right notes for it, but they treat a new audience with the same respect. I mean, their audience with the same respect as when they performed it the first few times when they're trying to capture like the hearts and minds of people. And the reality is that we don't have to change things. Like, we think as business owners, we have to change something. We have to have something new all the time. But we just really need to have a hit song, craft our hit song, and then sing it beautifully with the same intent to whatever was entertain, engage, whatever it might be, right? Now, that's kind of been like an aha moment for me. It's like, I was always about, we need to have something new. We don't need to have something new. We just need to craft a hit song and sing it, right? The reality is our team have rockstar potential, all of them. But for that to happen, they have to create performances, raving fan performances, right? If you want to have raving fans, you have to create raving fan performances. And if you want a raving fan, you have to have a rock star performing. Now, the rockstar performance doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen by osmosis, right? You can have the most beautiful rock song, hit song, right? Your culture code, but just putting it in front of somebody doesn't help them rehearse it so that they can perform it. Does that make sense? Right? No rock star got on stage and banged out a hit song without hours and hours and hours and hours of performing, of rehearsals. So the same thing, your song, you're crafting it. You're now in this stage of rehearsing it and refining it, right? Seeing what responses are. You'll adjust a word here and there. You'll adjust the inflection, the melody, blah, 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 so that it is beautiful. Then you have to actually do that with your team so that they can perform it, right? And we're not talking about, they don't have to be able to literally sing the culture code to you, sing the purpose, sing the values, but it needs to be able to roll off their tongue with passion, right? It doesn't happen by accident. So the thing about this is, just when you get tired of saying it, they are starting to hear it. I don't know who that quote is, but it's true. So the same thing is this, right? You need to build this stuff in so that it becomes part of the routine. They're going to get bored of saying it, but if you infuse meaning into it, when you give them the story, what does that mean? Why do we have this purpose statement? Well, look at the impact that we're creating. Look at the changes that we're creating for the businesses. When you wrap it in a story, they start they get the substance of it, so they feel good and they sing it with power, right? So we need to align our actions to this. And when we know what it is and we can deliver our agenda and everything, the actions that we deliver as a team match the culture code, match the experience we were trying to create, then your team can make the decisions independently when they've got that framework, the values that drive them, the North Star that is the direction. They're empowered to independently take aligned actions. And that makes your job easier, makes your life easier, especially as you grow. When you've got a team of 20 people, right? Imagining that with them fully empowered, because everyone sings the culture code. So you lovingly call each other out and lovingly celebrate how we want to show up to create rave-worthy experiences. Then you've got this beautiful united brand voice. I started with Rockstar performance because I like the term raving fan. So because I had that in back of mind, I was thinking Rockstars, and then that story landed for me because it's a Rockstar performance. It is a repetition, like repeating the same song that's been refined. And for me, that made sense as an analogy or metaphor for repetition and high-performing culture. There's no doubt going to be other ways to say it. And in different environments or scenarios, like, for sure, it will work. And there's definitely another way to say culture and all that's required to nurture a culture as it is to look after a plant. It could be looking after an animal, could be looking after a child, right? It depends. And I toiled with these for a while. These have worked with other people, other businesses, they've got it. Like, you still get it, right? So it anchors that, right? So it was like, there are so many different stories, and honestly, these stories have been working for me in this context for years. Maybe it's time I look at new stories, or maybe I follow the same principle of those are kind of hit songs for this program. So maybe I'll keep those songs there. Don't need to have anything new. But if I change an approach, or if I have a different kind of epiphany and another story anchors it, then yeah, for sure,